What's up, Aries? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a full moon tarot reading coming up on November 27th. It will be at 4:16 a.m. It's going to be at 4 degrees 51 seconds Gemini. So this is a moon all about communication, how you speak, how you learn, these types of things. It's going to be in the 6th mansion of the moon. We've had that one before. It's called the Scar. Mind the cats in the background. You know, it's all about like healing, but it's attraction and opposition. It's about making friendships, getting together people. But because of the nature of this moon, with the moon's going to be square Saturn, so it might be hard to communicate what you want to communicate. You may feel repressed in communication, but that's going to be counteracted a little bit by the moon trining Pluto. So that's going to be like manipulative communication for the sake of control and power, or like just being and doing it naturally, like almost unconsciously, because there's your card. Because the moon is kind of all about the unconscious, right? But I mean, you can be conscious of the unconscious, but it's all about the unconscious, really. And the sun is more about the conscious aspect of us. It's also going to be opposite the sun and Mars, so you have to balance out maybe anger in some way, or balance out like how you feel you're standing out in the situation or the communication. And the only reason I say communication again is because it's in Gemini. This is the card you got, Aries. Your commitment is being tested. So you may feel repressed in some way as far as like in your communications, like not feeling like you really want to say something, but you don't do it. You repress it in some way. And that can build up a lot of anger if you ain't careful. So you kind of have to balance that out and say what you need to say, but doing it in the Pluto way doesn't necessarily hurt, because Pluto's not going to try to stir the pot unless he has to. He's just going to want to try to get the result that he wants. And there's a little sacrifice always involved with Pluto. And with Mars, it's just all about passion moving forward, and the sun is about giving out, so just be wary of that. For Aries ascendant, we're talking, second or third house. So it could, this communication that you're repressing, could have something to do with talking about money matters in some way. And this time of year, holidays would make a lot of sense, because that's your material possessions in the second house. And then third house is the house of communication. So, and how you learn and things like this. So you could feel, you may feel repressed or frustrated in some way, but try to balance out, the sun energy with Mars, which just means, don't get too angry, and be aware of how you're presenting yourself outwardly. And use that Pluto information, sacrifice what you have to here to gain what you can there. And then with the squaring Saturn, that's just going to want to repress. You're just not really going to want to say what you need to say, because that's kind of what Saturn does. It restricts. And the energy won't last too long. We're talking like a day. Maybe you'll feel it a little bit before and a little bit after, depending on how long it's touching the a proper orb for each planet. But just be aware of that. And with that being said, your commitment is being tested, Aries. So that's something. We'll see what the cards say. Okay, I got the Magician on the bottom. Could be with love when it's saying your commitment's being tested, because we already got an Ace of Cups here. The current situation of the question. Got an Ace of Cups. So this would already be a love reading, or at least an emotional new beginning in some way. Okay. Of course, you got this could be something you're trying to create. Now, who's testing your commitment? That's the question. It could be an individual, like a spouse, or just someone you're dating, or a friend, or could it be the universe at large? I see justice right beside it, like a balance and justice, and then you also got the Queen of Swords, who's holding the sword of justice, right? So the three cards that you got in the question or in the current situation, you're talking about an emotional new beginning. And this could be that you're asking about marriage, like, is this person marriage material? Like the cold truth of the matter. Are they marriage material? Are they maybe not even necessarily marriage, but somebody you're willing to like really invest in some way? Like you want to build with them, Or you're asking about balance in a new emotional relationship, like somebody that you've either just met. Like maybe you're asking, hey, is this the one? I mean, maybe you're already dating and you're like, is this the one? And for those that are coupled already and been together a while, maybe you're asking, hey, is there balance here? Should I marry them, or should I even stay, right? Or do I want to go get a new beginning? Right? Truth. The truth will give the answer. That's what it feels like the question is, for sure. It's around that. It's around relationships and love, because on this current path, like some of Aries will be on this path, some on this path. They're all born at different times. It's a general reading. You know, for the energies could take place months from now. Could have already happened. Could be about to happen. Could be happening right now. And then there's two different paths here, and some of you can be on both. Some can choose one or the other. Some may not resonate, and then I would suggest, you know, watching your other signs. You know, your ascendant or your moon, or any sign that's very prominent in your chart. And you can look at a natal chart, and I have a video in my channel under astrology on a basic how to look up a natal chart. But this is the current path for some of you. Something you can't see, feeling chained, trying to move forward emotionally. So you're feeling chained. You're not able to move forward emotionally is what it feels like. You feel like there's some kind of secrets. Something you feel like there's something hidden. You don't know what it is. Something's hidden in your relationship. It's got you feeling like this. And you're like, well, I mean, can I really offer this forward? Can I really move forward? Because I mean, it's like you're trying to move forward, because this cup is walking away from the devil. This Knight of Cups. You could have water in your chart. It could be a water sign that you're asking about, and you're feeling chained some way. Maybe they're a real possessive individual, controlling type thing. And you feel like even with that going on, maybe, you know, they're projecting, maybe, you know, they're acting like you're keeping secrets, but in fact, it feels like that they are. And you're like, well, because they're, you know, maybe they're projecting, like they're keeping secrets, but they're projecting that onto you. And then you're like, well, maybe this person's keeping secrets from me. And maybe you feel like it. Something's amiss. And some of you know it or feel it anyway. Outcome looks good though. And so the advice just says celebrate. So it could be your superstition, or it could be that you're just being superstitious, right? It could be that maybe it's not so bad, and maybe you're just kind of worried. Maybe you think that there's something there when there's not. Maybe they're not controlling, but it feels like in some situation you feel chained to it. But here's another path, and you know there's a King of Cups here, so it definitely could be talking about a water sign. And then, you know, in this path you got the Emperor there, which is Aries. You know, that's an Aries card. The Emperor, and that could be a boss or like an overbearing father figure, somebody controlling. I was just talking about being controlling. And this is moving from stormy waters to calm waters, or just, you know, moving forward in general. And, you know, it could be that if you have water in your chart prominently, you're trying to become more like this, right? So you can move forward in a way, so you can get from the stormy waters, or you're trying to find an established partner so that you can get your life set up and move from these stormy waters to these calm waters. And you might be looking for this type of individual right here. You know, could be that you're looking for a boss, somebody's got well in control of their life and got it all handled, and is also very sweet. But at the same time, you know, you could have a boss that's a water sign, and you're trying to move on from that job because you feel like that job is in stormy waters, or you feel like your relationship with this individual who's overbearing, and it could be a water sign, you're trying to move away from the stormy waters to the calm waters. And it's saying your commitment's being tested. It looks like it's being tested in a relationship, specifically. It could be by family members too, because of the time of year, right? But the advice is showing a celebration. And it's saying, you know, go celebrate. And if it's asking about a wedding, like I said with the Justice card there, you're asking if they're marriage material. This can be a wedding, and someone offering it to you, and you know it's like right there on the table. Maybe you're choosing not to see it, or maybe they are marriage material and you're not seeing it. Right? You're not seeing it. You're not feeling like they are, but in fact they are. The advice is they are, and you're refusing to see what's right in front of you, or vice versa. They're not seeing what you're offering them. It could very much be that you're offering them because, look, that's a cup being offered, and that individual is refusing to see it. There's a card of things hidden, and it looks like you could be asking about offering your cup. And over here, the cup is being offered. But if it isn't you offering it, it looks like it's a water sign that's trying to offer it to you in some way. Then maybe you're either unaware, or you're choosing not to see it because there's some reason you're not seeing it, like because of whatever your current relationship is with them. Maybe you just don't see them in that way, but maybe they look at you in that way, because you have two celebration cards here, right? Three of Cups and the Four of Rods. And it could be like at a social gathering or something that you see them. Now, could it be that you're going to see family over the holidays and you end up seeing like your ex-husband or ex-wife? Yeah, it could be that too. And they're going to be off. They're going to be trying to, maybe they're still in love with you, and they're like, "Please, let's get back together," that type of thing. Or it could be it's someone that you're going to meet during a celebration at the holidays. That's not family, of course, because you're not going to marry your family. But I mean, it could be just someone that, is offering you love, that you meet on some kind of celebration, some kind of get together during the holidays. Because people have all kinds of them for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas. And those both can be wedding cards too. So if they're both wedding cards, and if you're asking if they're marriage material, like, the answer is yes. The advice is saying work hard. This is all about money at the advice. But the Empress is there, so it could be pregnancy too. It could be, or conceiving something new. And it could be that whatever this is going to be very valuable. With the Empress there, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. And it could be that you get together and you end up having a Earth sign child. If you get together and get married. And you're going to work hard to make a wonderful life. Seems very specific. Feels like relationship, though, for sure. Just because, right in the middle. And it says your commitment is being tested, like commitment in a relationship. Now, if this water sign's a Scorpio, then I'd say all the water signs really do it for sure. If they're heavy water, they will test your commitment. Scorpios are the worst at it. It's kind of scary a little bit sometimes because they'll put tests forward just to test people to see how they react in situations and then judge them on it. I know because I'm a Scorpio. So I used to do it a lot in the past. I try not to do it so much anymore, but I'll still catch myself doing it unconsciously. And I'm like, oh, come on. You can't put people to that standard when you yourself sometimes won't even meet it, Yeah, let's get some clarifiers. I mean, the outcome looks profitable. If this has something to do with work, like a new beginning, like in work in some way, which I don't really see a lot of work cards, only in the outcome. Then it's like you feel chained to a job, or you feel chained to, a situation, and you don't feel like everything is being laid forth. Like things are being held back from you. Like either it could be at work too. It could be in your family, right? Because it's the time of year for celebrations. This could all be about family. Now with the Justice card there, and the Four of Rods, it's like wedding. It's screaming wedding. With the Three of Cups, it all screams wedding. Some kind of celebration. And with Justice there, it's like, a justice of the peace being there. And it could be that you're attending someone else's wedding, right? And then you attend someone else's wedding, and that's where this person is. Okay? And they're going to be a water sign or a watery sign. And if you ain't careful, you'll miss them because, look, don't miss them. They're going to be a water sign. Almost guaranteed they're going to be a water sign. If you're going to some social gathering or a wedding or something, or some kind of family gathering, and, it's not all family, there's going to be a water sign there that, is the one. That's what it looks like. So be very vigilant, Aries. If you're going to do any kind of wedding, right there, celebration, anything like that. You got Justice again. New perspective, great strength in the current situation. Justice, you got great strength. So hopefully you're not going through a divorce or anything. If you're going through a divorce, you're going to get paid. You're going to win. But I don't really see anything that would suggest divorce. But saying, have great strength in your justice, or if it's like, hey, you're worried about asking someone to marry you, or you're worried about asking, extending your hand, let's move in together, or let's have a big step up. Have the strength. You have the strength. You have what you need to do it. If you're asking, you have it. If you're worried about in a current relationship, and if you're asking about the strength and validity of your relationship, where you want to take it to the next level, you have the strength to do it. It's going to take work, but you're going to do it, and it's going to be great. It's going to work out. You got adjustment, which is Justice again, but it's on the Ace of Cups here. So adjustment could just be like a small change. But it also, again, could be marriage card again, because it could still represent justice. And like with the Hanged Man on, the Queen of Swords, that's absolutely a new perspective, right? That's thinking a different way. And it could be that you're asking whether, this person will think in a different way, or that if you can think and see them in a different way, or vice versa. It could be somebody that's like a really close friend, and like you never really looked at them in that way, and then it's like becoming, my cats are going crazy. And it could be that like now something's being offered forth to you, you're like, oh, well, maybe they are that kind, Kind of curious about this over here, to be fair. Yeah, this current path, it has truce. So, in this deck, the Four of Swords is called truce, right? It's like making a truce. So if you are, maybe you're fighting with your significant other or something like that right now, but you need to make a truce. Like, you can't see it, but you can definitely make peace. If you're asking about a falling out with someone specifically, you can make, and if it's a court case, y'all can come to an agreement without it getting too crazy. And on the Devil, you have the Fool. So that's going to be like a new beginning, or like a new path, or being a fool, or you feel like you're chained to a fool. Like, that could be a literal interpretation, that you feel like you are chained to a fool. But it's saying if you work and help them, that there could be something valuable there. But if you don't feel like you can, I'm, by all means, if it's super toxic, be gone. You can't. You got to do what's best for you, no doubt about it. And the Five of Cups is on the Knight of Cups. So it's disappointment. It's just like maybe you thought you were going to move forward in a specific way. Or maybe you were even expecting them to ask you to marry him or something, and they didn't do it. Like, maybe you're going somewhere like on a trip or something, and you thought it was going to happen and it didn't, and you're feeling some kind of disappointment about it. Or you thought that they were going to offer their cup to you and they didn't. Or they did offer it to you and you just weren't interested, kind of thing. But there's something there. Like, it feels like there's something there. The cards are saying there is something there, something good. Again, these are different paths, so we're gonna see what this other path has. And if you're moving to a new relationship, look for this water sign. Like if you're getting away from this relationship right here, like whether it's a divorce, it could be a straight divorce, because of that, that Justice card, or if you're deciding whether you want to take it to the next level, like marriage, and you're having second thoughts, this water sign is around. I don't know where they're at exactly for you, but they're around, and they're good stuff. But who's testing your commitment here, right? Maybe you're testing. I mean, really, nobody can test us but ourselves, truly. And people can try to manipulate situations to get us to think specific ways or act specific ways, but it really still falls down to us. And being conscious and aware and in the moment, it's really hard to do that to someone if they're very conscious and aware and in the moment. Right there. Victory. Lovers. Oh, yeah. Got the moon again. Okay, so it could be a Pisces, specifically. Because these are three you got. You got the Victory on the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is, like if it's a court case, the King of Cups is winning. So if you have Pisces in your chart, you're winning. If it's something like that. But if it's a person, it's a Pisces. It's at least strong in their chart. It may not be their sun, but they're strong in their chart. And you got the Lovers on the Emperor. So maybe, Emperor is Aries. So that's almost certainly you. And it's got the Lovers on it. It could be another Aries too. I can't say that that's not the case. Maybe you have strong water in your chart. And you got the moon, but this is why I think it's Pisces. Because the moon's here twice. Pisces are very sweet signs. All water signs. Oh, okay. I tried to shuffle, and then boom. Aries again, man. It could be Aries. This could be a boss, somebody that you work with. It's like your boss, and you don't realize it. Maybe they're the one. Maybe they're your boss, and they're a Pisces. I'll throw this up here with this, because it clearly wanted to be there. It could be your boss is a Pisces, and they may be interested in you. And Pisces sometimes can be hard to read, because they're a little bit mixture of every sign, right? And they represent the unconscious energy. So they can be hard to read. So they may be trying to send you hints, but don't know how, successfully anyway. And it could be, like I said, somebody that you meet that's like it's an emperor type figure in some way in your life, and they're Pisces. And they're gonna be the ones offering you the cup, or they're trying, or that maybe you need to offer your cup to them. Right there. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So some kind of gathering or social situation you're going to, but you're not going to see what they're offering. It's something. What they're offering is something of value, because on the 4 of Cups, it had the Princess of Pentacles. Look at that pentacle she's holding. I can't really see it that well. Some of these cards, depending on the colors, won't come in that well for some reason. Anyway, it's something of great value. And then, on the 4 of Rods, which is clearly, could definitely be a wedding card, you got Fortune. So it's destined. It's destiny. You don't miss destiny. That's gonna be the name of your reading. Don't miss destiny. I mean, you got debauchery on the 3, so don't party too hard. Don't drink too much, or you'll miss it. Like if you do go to a social gathering, like this can be the card about celebrating and drinking. Don't drink too much, because it's gonna lead to like this debauchery, and then something will happen to where like it won't work out so much. Maybe you don't drink at all. I don't know. But don't miss destiny. It's gonna be right there in your face. Like soulmate, don't miss it. Some kind of celebration you're going to, or some kind of gathering, social gathering that you're going to for the holidays, whatever it is. Could just be a football. You go into a football game party or something like that. Who knows, right? Something's gonna pop up, and it screams Pisces, but could be Aries too. But someone's gonna be like in a position of like being a boss, or like in control of something, or someone like that, and they're going to be presented to you in that way, and they're probably going to be a Pisces. They're going to be some sort of water sign. And the outcome's like move forward passionately, step out into the sun. It's got failure there, but I don't really think anything's failing, right? Like, I just don't see how with the sun here. I think it's more about planting seeds. Like it's more like the traditional, just because it has to be. Because even in this one, like it's growing in plants. It says failure on the bottom, but it's growing in plants. The 7 of Pentacles, right? See all the plants? It's growing in plants. So something is going to grow from this. And you got the sun. See these 2 people here dancing happily, and then you got, the prince moving forward passionately. Man, it could be like a job offer too, but it ends up being more than that later. I mean, it could be somebody that you work with, or is it a boss at some place? Maybe the way they come across to you is like, oh, like when you're talking, like, oh, I'm a manager, I'm a business owner at this place and do this, and then like that's how you're gonna know. That's how you're gonna identify it's that person. In some way, that message is gonna come to you in some way. And they're going to be like the one. And then if they're a Pisces, but again, you can't really go off their sun sign. It'd be best to know like their actual natal chart to see if it's strong in their chart. You can always kind of tell though water signs, because they're gonna be sweeter. They're probably going to talk slower. They're going to listen more. That type of thing. They're generally going to be. I mean, earth signs will do like similar to that too. But you'll feel more emotion, and you'll feel connection with water signs a lot of times. Like when you're talking to them, you feel like you're right there with them, and they're right there with you. It's because they're built for that specifically. You'll find a lot of counselors, psychologists, stuff like that, Scorpios, Cancers, Pisces, all the time, because they're good at it naturally. It's what we were built for, the emotional ones. And, a lot of emotion goes into that type of occupation. But anyway, Aries, I mean, it seems specific. It could be so much to it. It could be shifting, like you're asking if this is the one that you want to marry, or you're asking if you will ever get married. Well, there's someone here, and I explained how you might meet them. Could be that your current situation, you feel chained to it. You feel like you're chained to a fool. Chained to a fool. And then again, this person may emerge later. If you are getting a divorce, there's someone better coming in. If you're trying to stay in your relationship and you're wondering if you can make it work, and they are a water sign, you can make this work. It's going to take work, but it's going to work out.
It's valuable. And if you're single and you're going to like social gatherings during the holidays, I'd look out for this person that's established. This person is established and is going to have like a reputation, kind of stand out. They're probably a water sign, and you can build a real future with them. And they may even come off kind of awkward, right? And they're flirting, but they don't really do it well, and it may not really seem that way, but they are. So be aware, and then like don't party too hard because you may miss the opportunity. Okay. Anyway, Aries, that's all I have. I know seems specific, but anyway, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. I'm still trying to get this algorithm helping. It's really not. This is all starting to feel like an uphill battle that I can't win. Anyway, consider liking, subscribing, commenting. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm so grateful for your view, and hope to see you again. And happy holidays.